All right, here we go. First up, lunge Zabata sliders. This is interval motion, 14 seconds on, 7 seconds off. Front foot is on the slider, front shin is vertical, spine is vertical. You can use your hands on this for balance and to help as much as you need, but as little as possible, so your legs are doing most of the work. You can also use 2 chairs in case you don't have an uplifter. You're going to adjust the uplifter up as far as it'll go, and then back into position, making sure the uplifter is even, handles are even, and then down nice and low, and then you're just going to come a little bit off, about 4 inches off the floor, and it's a quick slide with that front foot. Ready and go. That woohoo means go as fast as you can in a controlled motion, and then you're going to hear a bell next, which means stop, all the way up, and switch legs. But for now, in this sprint interval, just keep going as fast as you can. And now it's the turn for the other foot, and then back down into position. Ready, set, go. And remember, when you're down and going, it's as fast as you can, but it's very controlled. You're seeing both ways here with the uplifter and with the chair if you don't have an uplifter. And remember, this is always full speed, no holding back. And here we are, standing up, switching feet, getting down in position, preparing to go full speed, and go. This is max velocity, fast as you can, never any pacing, 100% speed, and you'll slow down naturally with time because of progressive fatigue, but it shouldn't be intentional. Up and switch, and breathing, especially full exhales to try to get your heart rate down. And now you're going again, fast as you can, trying to get your heart rate up. So we have a really high peak, heart rate up, and a really low valley, heart rate down, between the sprint segments. And that's how interval training works the best. Here's your up and switch with full exhales, low shoulders, relaxed face and neck. And now we're back to the urgent speed sprint segment. You're probably slowing down by now with these sprint segments, totally fine. It's only the 100% effort that is the thing that matters. So keep maxing out that effort. Up and switch while breathing and relaxing. Then down into position, preparing to go again. This is actually your last sprint segment, so make it good, finish strong, and then after this, we'll be doing some splinter techniques to increase fatigue and get to complete CMF. Go ahead, up and switch again, and then ease down into position for the splinter techniques. This first one is just down into position and twisting that front foot with your front shin as vertical as you can. Your front knee will also be moving back and forth, but it's mostly front foot. And now we switch to front foot toe taps. Lifting that toe up and off, and then back down. Heel stays down, driving deep and hard into the floor. Now up and switch. Back down into position as low as you can, using hands as much as you need, but as little as possible. And then we got the same splinters on the other leg, starting with the twist. Twisting that front foot on that slider. Front knee is going to be twisting too. Back and forth, low shoulders, relaxed face and neck. And now we move to the toe taps. High as you can with those toes, heavy as you can with that front heel, keeping that front shin vertical. And we're done. Strong work. And now you can stand up, shake it off, and we're going to turn around for the push-up position. Ropes stay about the same height or lower if you're stronger. And then the mod on this one, if you don't have an uplifter, is those 2 chairs again, going from your feet if you're real strong, or knees if you are less advanced. But just remembering perfect form is the top priority. And also keep in mind you can remove the feet loops if you don't want them on there, and the handles are adjustable, so you can always just slide them into the right position. Okay, here we go. This is the tiered method. So down into position, stretch, and then up 2 inches, down 1, up 2, down 1, up a small 2 inches, down 1 inch, up 2, and here's your low top, and we head back down 2, up 1, down 2, up 1, down 2, up 1, until you get that nice stretch down at the bottom, and then up 2, down 1, up 2, down 1. Breathing, nice low shoulders. Here's your low top. Now down 2, up 1. Always pulling shoulders down towards your hips and away from your ears. Constant airflow. Here's the bottom, nice stretch. Up 2, down 1, up 2, down 1. Breathing. controlling. There's the top, down 2, up 1, and continuing 2s and 1s down to that stretch at the bottom. Controlling the motion, no jerking, no bouncing, easing into that bottom and up 2, down 1 until you get to that low top. So we keep constant time under tension. Now we head back down with full stops on every 2 and 1. And if you need to be on your knees on the chairs, that's fine too. Here's that great stretch at the bottom, and now 2s and 1s coming up. And remember, the stretch at the bottom isn't a rest, so it shouldn't be that far down. Now here's the top, 2s and 1s coming down, breathing through it, low shoulders, down away from your ears, down into that low stretch, but still contracting at the bottom, and then here we go up just to the middle, and then back down to the bottom, because we've already started our splinter techniques. To the middle, to the bottom, middle, down to the bottom, nice controlled fashion and motion. Breathing through it, keeping your shoulders low, down away from your ears. And now the next splinter coming up is going to be wide hands, pushing them out away from each other just a couple inches and then back into where they were. Out and in, wide, then back in. And next we have a hand twist, slowly and controlled, twisting your hands, holding in the middle of the range. And now up 3 inches and down 3 inches, staying in the middle of the range. Remembering that anytime your form suffers just a little bit, you can take a tiny step forward to fix that. Or a tiny step forward with your knees too if you're on the chairs. And now we're in the top third of the range. So remember that low top, and then down to about halfway point. And then up to the low top and down to the halfway point. Nice and slow and controlled, finishing strong, constant airflow, and done. And now shake that off. Breathing, especially full exhales, getting ready for the row, where you're just going to turn around, where you're just hanging back, nice straight body, but steep angle, as steep as you can muster, because you can always take steps backwards on this one to make it easier through the progression of CMF. And if you don't have an uplifter and you need to use the tubing, then you're just sitting down on the floor with the tubing anchored under something low, sitting there with a nice straight spine. And in both cases, you're going to have really low shoulders, pulling them down away from your ears to activate the lats and to keep the head and neck relaxed. Here we go with wide hands, up 2, down 1. With the row, it's pull back 2, let forward 1. 2s and 1s to the top, and now 2s and 1s coming down. Full stops on all the 2s and all the 1s. The bottom is still high, elbows are still bent, hands are still wide, and then up 2, down 1. Full stops on all the 2s and 1s. Little freeze and squeeze at the top just for half a second, and then down 2, up 1, down 2, up 1. To that high bottom, elbows are still bent at the bottom, and then up 2, down 1, up 2, down 1. Nice and controlled, full stops on all the 2s and 1s, freeze and squeeze, top, down 2, up 1. Remember the high bottom, so you still have time under tension, and then up 2, down 1. Full stops, low shoulders, relaxed face and neck, freeze and squeeze at the top, down 2, up 1. Full stops, controlled. You can always take tiny steps back if you can't get to the top anymore. And here we go, here's the bottom, up 2, down 1. And if you're doing the seated row with the tubes and you're getting to CMF, you can just scooch forward a little bit to keep in the game. Here we are heading back down to the bottom, and when you get to the bottom, slow start. 2s and 1s heading up, and from time to time look down, make sure you can see your toes, and then you know your hips are back far enough. There was the top, heading back down, 2s and 1s, and get used to that toe check, because that's going to be a great tool to master. Here's the bottom, and now just pull up halfway, and then back down to that high bottom, up halfway, back down. We're already starting our splinter techniques. Stay strong now. Now wide hands, close hands. Push those hands apart from each other, and then pull them in closer. So it's just a 2-inch range. And now twist those hands, wide hands, pushing them out as you're twisting. Low shoulders, relaxed face and neck. Now drop those elbows down into your sides and then bring them out wide and high again. Up and down, breathing through it. Remember that toe check from time to time to make sure your hips are back far enough. Now elbows down, keep them down and push those hands down towards your feet, and then up. 2-inch range, all the way down as far as you can, up a couple inches. Now push those hands as low as they'll go, keep them down there and twist them. Twisting as you're pushing them down, elbows in tight to your sides, breathing, low shoulders. Now pull high, finish with a hold, and step forward. I know that sounds crazy, but you're holding high, stepping forward, inducing failure. High as you can, holding high as you can. Keep stepping forward as far as you can go, holding to finish. Strong hold, and done. Okay, now shake it off and breathe, especially exhaling fully, blowing out all that carbon dioxide, getting out of fight or flight, getting the heart rate down. And now we go to tricep zabatas. This is interval training with the uplifter ropes or down on the floor with the sliders, back and forth, fast as you can. And this one is always about putting weight into your hands. So if you're on the uplifter, you're leaning into it as steep as you can. You can always take tiny steps forward later to stay in the game. And if you're on the sliders, you're leaning forward over the sliders as far as you can, and you can always shift your weight back later to stay in the game. All right, here we go, fast as you can, shifting those hands back and forth, keeping that weight forward on your hands as much as you possibly can. Maximum speed, 100% effort. Coming up on the rest. Now chill out, relax, get the blood flow back, get ready for the next one, into position, and go. Remember, no pacing here. This is 100% speed, 100% effort, as fast as you possibly can. Constant airflow, always breathing. Keep going strong, coming up on the rest. Now chill out, relax. Try to get the heart rate down, full exhales. And go. Max speed. Leaning into it as much as you can. Heaviest possible hands. Good form, close elbows. Max speed, really hanging in there. Here comes the rest, and chill out, relax, breathe, low shoulders, full exhales, and go. Maximum speed, should be burning good by this round. Keep going. You will naturally slow down as you fatigue, and that's okay, but it's still 100% effort and speed. Now chill out, relax, breathing, heart rate coming down. We're coming towards the end here. This is already round 5 of 7. Max speed. Keep going. 100%. Speed is relative. Effort is not. Always pushing as hard as you possibly can. Here comes the rest. Now chill out. Relaxing. Exhaling. Neck relaxed, face relaxed. Here's the second to the last one. Give it all you got. Time to empty out that gas tank. Next round is burning off those fumes. Empty out the tank. Go, go, go. Hard as you can. Fast as you can. Relax. Turn off fight or flight. Last round coming up. 100%. Go, go, go. Burn off those fumes. Nothing left. No mercy. Max speed. Finish strong. That final rep, that last segment where you reach CMF is where results come from. Strong work. You're done. Now shake it off. Breathing, dropping the shoulders, relaxing, preparing for the next exercise. And now we have the high bicep curl. The key on this one is to keep the hands real high, so you're always pushing your hands straight up to the ceiling, whether you're using the uplifter ropes or down on the floor seated using tubing. And this, just like all the other exercises, is real important to have a nice aggressive angle on the uplifters or seated back with the tubing. So it's real hard to start because you can always adjust later to stay in the game. And this one is also the tiered method. So you're going to start at the bottom. The bottom is still bent elbows, and then up 2 stop, down 1 stop, up 2 stop, down 1 stop. And then when you get to the top, it's going to be knuckles to the top of your forehead, squeeze and freeze for a second, and then down 2 stop, up 1 stop, down 2 stop, up 1 stop. Until you get to the bottom. Elbows are still bent, so contraction is still happening. Coming up, 2s and 1s. Freeze and squeeze for just a bit at the top, and then down 2s and 1s. Full stops on all the 2s and the 1s. Remember to stay in this and avoid all rests, because that gives you TUT, time under tension, which gives you endurance, and gets you to CMF, the end, complete muscle fatigue, that gives you strength. And we're already almost done. Second to the last rep here. 2s and 1s. Full stops on the way up. Pause at the top. 2s and 1s coming down. Full stops on all the 2s and 1s. And here's our last rep. 2s and 1s coming up. Breathing through it. Low shoulders, relaxed face and neck, straight body. Really hanging in there with that TUT. Preparing, getting ready for our splinters. And here we go. Pull all the way up and then halfway down. Top half of the range. Back up, halfway down. Back up, halfway down. This is controlled motion too. Always controlled motion. Now pull up to the top, hold it up there, and punch up with your right hand, then left hand, punching straight up to the ceiling, alternating back and forth, right to left, staying high, straight body. Now elbows straight out, and then punch in, knuckles together, and then hands apart about 2 inches, and then back together, knuckles touching, hands back apart. Now overlap. Top hand goes over the top and it punches across, and then left hand over the top. Now bottom half, all the way down, elbow slightly bent, halfway up, down to the bottom, up to halfway point. Constant tension, never relaxing or resting. Now pull up to the top and punch down. Right hand, left hand alternating, shooting down with your hand and elbow. Staying as high as you can when you do this. Imagining getting higher. Last thing, almost done, and finished. Strong work. Now shake it off, breathe, exhaling fully, relaxing your face and neck, low shoulders, recovering. And now we have the leg curl circles. So you're going to be drawing circles in the air with your feet, or if you're on the sliders, you're going to be sliding circles on the floor. High hips the whole time, controlled motion. And this is also slow motion. And if you're using the uplifter, your feet can be in the loops, either heels in the loops or toes in the loops. And now drive your hips up as high as they'll go. Everyone's different, and draw slow circles with your feet. Slow motion. Go at your own pace, but slow as you can, driving those hips up as high as you can. And again, with that hip height, everyone's different. Some people are higher than others. Some people just stay down on the mat. But if your hips are on the mat, your hips are light because your feet are heavy, pulling down on the ropes or pushing down into the sliders. Heavy, heavy feet pushing down, and the equal and opposite reaction is high hips or light hips. Slow motion, slow as you can, and changing direction periodically of the circle that you're drawing. This exercise should feel awkward, and it should be difficult to control, which is on purpose because that gives you nerve training and brain training too. Keep going here, hang in there with these slow circles, driving your hips up as high as they'll go. Hands are wide, staying outside from underneath your body. Hips will start to sink down as you fatigue or get heavier on the mat. Totally fine. Just keep pulling down into those ropes or into those sliders, and that'll keep that TUT, time under tension, on point and going, so you get endurance, and then at the end, strength with the CMF. Hang in there now. We're already almost done. Slow motion, driving the hips up even though they're lower. That's okay. Here we are with our splinters. Now pull in all the way and then back and forth, right to left. Foot shuffle, but controlled motions. And then freeze about halfway and go wide feet, close feet. Feet apart, feet together. And freeze and squeeze, pull in far as you can. Now point your toes down to the floor and then up to the ceiling. Point your toes down, point your toes up. Working those calves. Now still pulling in as far as you can, and then knees apart and knees together. Knees apart, knees together, but keeping the feet together as you do this. Now put the knees together and go feet apart, feet together. Feet wide, feet close, knees staying close. Still trying to drive those hips up as high as you can, and now feet together, keep them together, knees wide, keep them wide, and then drive those hips as high as you can. We're just holding to finish, driving up, pulling in with your feet as hard as you can, finishing strong to activate those glutes, really cranking, almost done, and relax. Strong work. Now chilling out, stay where you are, relaxing, breathing, exhaling, getting ready for abs, which will be in this same place, and you'll just be maneuvering closer to the wall, so your butt's right up against the wall, legs are straight up against the door or the wall. Hands can push into the wall. If you have the uplifter, you can pull down on the ropes, and your hands can be pushing into the door or the wall at the same time, and that'll anchor you in place. And feel free to use your hands as much as you want on this. This is not cheating. The hands are anchoring you, pushing against the door or wall. And now heels 1 inch away from the door or wall, and then just punch straight up with your legs. Little poppers, straight up pops, keeping the heels barely away. Now pop it up and hold it up and twist those legs as you're pushing up. Constant pressure straight up. Now kick those toes back towards the eye, not past the eye. And everyone's different on this range, so maybe you're not getting very far away from the door or wall. Totally fine. Just do what you can. And now pull away from the door and keep it there and twist those legs as you're pulling towards your eye. Now back to the poppers, straight up pops. Heels barely away from the door, popping straight up. Now hold it up and twist those legs again, keeping that upward pressure as you go. Now kick back towards your eyes and release almost to the door. Back towards the eyes, release towards the door. Now hold it at the eyes, freeze and squeeze, and twist it there. Twist those legs both together. Now straight up poppers, you can see we're counting down and they're getting shorter. Pop it up, hold it up, twist those legs. Now back to the kickers. Just a couple. Now kick it back, hold it, twist it. Now one popper, up and twist. And then one kick back, back and twist. And now some flutters. So back to the popper position, up and hold it, and flutter your feet back and forth. And then we finish with the kickers. Back to the eyes, flutter your feet there. Nice, long kicking to finish, hanging in there. Controlled motion, brain training, nerve coordination, and done. Strong work. You made it. There was a lot to think about here and a lot of instructions, but that was all on purpose to give you brain benefit, body benefit, endurance, and strength.